What's up, guys? Nolan here. We got some great announcements for Arena. We actually have the official roadmap they just announced, as well as an event that's going on, if you want to call it that, where every single, up to tier 4, preset in the game has been unlocked. So if it is up to a 500 gear score, it is unlocked for you to be able to use, and then you can use that to grind up to the higher tier presets. What I would suggest you do is check out the marksman classes, specifically the bolt action ones, because a lot of people are questioning whether those are good or not. I've gone and unlocked. I actually did the full grind to gaze, and it was a bit of fun, but you really understand how the classes work. You kind of understand the game a bit better when you're stuck with a bolt action rifle at these ranges. So I would suggest giving those a try, because I know a lot of people had questions about it and wanted to know how those play. You'll learn pretty quick how they play. I would do scout because a lot of people think that scout's good, and if they end up doing these grenade changes, maybe it will end up being good, but it just seems like a lot of people are talking about scout, so check out scout. And I would check out assault. I still believe, at least for now, assault is going to be the stronger choice between all of them in terms of just variety of what you can get from a single class, but we'll see what ends up happening with these changes. And then also, if you're a masochist, you can try out CQB, especially with the nerfs. Now, moving on to the roadmap, we did get an official announcement of the roadmap. I think it was about at least a week ago now. We had this information, but for some reason, BSG didn't make it public. Now it is public, so this is the proper setup. This is the proper information. I would say at least this is a bit more stable. This is definitely obviously official from BSG on what exactly is going to be happening, and we have something that's going to be popping up in the next couple of weeks here with the end of February. We have a preset tier system, ability to select a preset before matchmaking. If they are doing it the way that I hope they're doing it, the way that we've been giving them loads of feedback to do it, this will balance out games much more significantly and much better. Preset system rework, complete preset rebalance, improvements to the preset leveling system, team limit on buying same presets in a match. You're going to see a pattern here. It seems like this is all the obvious changes that should have been in the initial patch. Or sorry, not the initial patch, but the initial release. Because they should have been. They really should have been. But with all of just the waves, just the tsunami waves of feedback of saying, guys, this needs to happen for this. This is the way that this needs to work. Blah, 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 blah. Now it's starting to show up. Hitbox and armor system from Escape from Tarkov. Now, with the information that we got a week ago, they were saying not absolutely all of that is going to pop into Arena. We'll see if that is still the case. Improvements to custom lobbies, configurable available presets, configurable character skill level, configurable number of rounds needed for victory, pre-configurable team names. Now, what I want to know is if it's a configurable amount of players that you're going to need in order to actually start the lobby itself. That's a bit annoying, having to get 10 to 30 people in order to play. Chop shop location for team fight mode. That was it's a chop shop, so it's an auto shop, but you can only play it in the tournament mode. I personally actually haven't even played that map yet, so it's going to be popping up in team fight mode. Game client performance optimization, can always expect that at the bottom of any roadmap that we get or any patch update, patch notes, stuff like that for Escape from Tarkov. Now, what you're not seeing is anything about a wipe or anything about a connecting to the main game, nothing like that. So we've got to the end of February, so we have a couple of weeks here of what the game currently is before we start worrying about when we're going to be losing our progress and stuff like that. So we still have multiple weeks. We still got a ways to go. Now, the content patch 1.6 is popping up mid-spring, so I'm going to assume probably March, April-ish, something like that, is going to be a new location, block, new game mode, last hero. And when we go to look up last hero, specifically on the website says last hero, the strongest survives, deathmatch between multiple players. The goal of each player is to score the most kills in the allotted time. So last hero makes it sound like free-for-all, for sure, with just that title. And then it says deathmatch between multiple players. The goal of each player is to score the most kills in the allotted time. So I am leaning really towards like a free-for-all, possibly a deathmatch. But I'm thinking this is a free-for-all. We'll see what ends up happening with that. Let me know what you guys think. Then we finally have the unranked mode and whatever comes with that. So it's obviously going to be working a bit differently than the ranked mode. It's not going to value your ranking as much, I would assume, if at all, for the unranked mode. We'll see what happens with gear score and stuff like that. I think as long as there's progression with that, it's going to be in a pretty solid space, because everybody just hates what's going on with the ranking for the ranking system specifically, or where you're at for skill-wise. And then if you're a really skilled player, you're going to only rank against skilled players. It doesn't really matter what preset you have. Luckily now, everybody has competitive presets, at least for now, until they wipe the game, which we'll see when that ends up stuff happening, up to gear score 500. So yeah, unranked mode, we'll see what that does to the game in its entirety. Quality of life improvements, we'll see what that is exactly. Clean up crew behavior improvements, I still just would like those completely removed. Doesn't look like they're going to remove them. We'll see what they end up doing in terms of improvements, quote unquote, there. Game client performance optimization, hopefully. Anti-cheat improvements, hopefully. Synchronization of Escape from Tarkov and Escape from Tarkov Arena game profiles. So you will be able to level and earn money for your base game PMC in Arena in the patch 1.6 or 0.1.6 mid-spring. That is right there. Synchronization of Escape from Tarkov and Escape from Tarkov Arena profiles. Implementation of overtime system in Teamfight. I don't know if that's necessarily needed. Let me know what you guys think, because it already comes down to like, hey, if it's 4-4, that's your overtime. So what do we need an implementation of an overtime system? Sure, if there is a improvement to the overtime system because we go over and then there's the cleanup crew that's coming in, I was hoping I would see something like that, like some kind of improvement or some kind of changes to how the game works when you're going into overtime. But I don't even know what that would mean, because it seems like if you're 4-4, then that's when overtime matters. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. The big one there obviously being the syncing of the two game profiles. Then we have the 2.0 or 0.2.0 content patch Midsummer. Preset customization, ability to modify equipment presets and the weapons in them. And that is your base game kit. So that is using your base game kit in Arena. A new location, a new game mode, various technical and functional improvements, quality of life improvements, custom lobby improvements, match history, ability to view players' profiles, and an achievement system. What we don't see in there is a wipe. There is no mention of a wipe. Now, with these roadmaps recently, BSG have been telling us when the wipes are going to be for the base game, but they have no mention of it here in Arena. Now, this is speculation. I'll be as clear as possible. I'm going to speculate now, guys. I am speculating that because they are naming these patches the way that they are naming them, 1.5, 1.6, and what I imagine is through spring, we're going to be seeing 1.6 point something, 1.7 maybe. I don't know where 1.7 is. I don't know where 1.8 is. I don't know where 1.9 is. It just seems odd. There's a 1.5, 1.6, and then we go straight to a 2. I'm going to assume that 2 is our wipe. ESG says that they are going to wipe it. I have not seen anything to say that they are no longer going to wipe it. It seems to make sense that they would wipe it at some point. So where this is a solid number with the 0.2 here, and with it being Midsummer, which they like to wipe, definitely at least for the base game, I'm going to go ahead and, until further notice, assume that this 0.2 patch is also going to be a wipe, because I think that makes the most sense. Gonna ask BSG, see if we get an answer about that. Gonna assume that we don't, because they didn't put it in the roadmap. But for now, where our accounts are going to be linked at 1.6, it's possible that that's when they wipe as well, because they said that at some point they were going to at some point Q1 of this year, they were going to connect the base game and the Arena accounts and wipe the game. So I see no mention of the wipe here, but I do see the mention of the syncing of the accounts. But where that's pretty soon, where that still is, I mean, we're talking a month and a half at least for Q1 left here, minimally speaking. Why would they not tell us that a wipe is involved with that, but the synchronization of the accounts are? So maybe the wipe has been delayed. Maybe there isn't something happening there, or it is that close and they're still not telling us because they still want us to play. That's something to keep in mind. So they're nudging us. They still want us to test this stuff, but if people don't want to lose their progress, which I'm a little bit on that boat myself, you don't want to waste your time. You don't want to waste your grind. It seems like that's kind of what they're doing here. They're kind of nudging us, saying, hey, most of it's unlocked at least. We just need you to keep playing, kind of thing. We still need to be testing, which luckily there are still plenty of people testing. It's just not everybody. It's not a lot of people. So hopefully with now most of the kits unlocked up to gear score 500, it can help with that. It can help with new players playing, it can help with bringing old players back to come check out stuff that they didn't want to grind towards, and we'll see. For those that don't know, a month ago they updated how XP works, and they have been doing a couple of events here and there with double XP as well. So we're getting a hell of a lot more XP. We have most of the kits unlocked, and it seems like there's some very cool stuff coming. And BSG need us to we're here to test this. Like, if we want Arena to ever be good, we need to make sure we put in the time and we get some good feedback in right now, especially when these changes actually pop up end of February, mid-spring, and midsummer. A lot of good information here. It's now official. Now, wasn't lying before when we got this information before. But no mention of a wipe. So let me know what you guys think of all this changes for Arena specifically. Let me know if you're going to be going and checking it out. Otherwise, to support what I do, click all the buttons on the screen. Check out my other channels for other games right here, like Broken Arrow, Ashes of Creation, and Star Citizen. For the minute-by-minute stuff, make sure to follow me on Twitter or join the Discord, both linked below. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching, and hope you have a nice day. See you guys.